What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV. The Italians in the Champions League this week have made me feel like really up and down. I don't know, to be really happy or upset.
A little inconsistent,
right?
Let's move on to the results.
Let's go to the first game, which a win happened, but I don't know if we're really that happy. Juventus Sporting 2-1 victory for Juve, which came after Sporting went up 1-0 after a crazy own goal. The attitude from Juventus, one of the worst matches I've seen in a long time, and it's literally the trend that I keep seeing this season. So poor at home in a game that Juventus need to win, allowing Sporting to do so much with the game, and Juve just did not want to be there.
I feel like
we've seen this season.
Everything we've been saying this all the time. Is Allegri the one to blame at this point? Do you blame Allegri?
I feel he won. He won the match. Juventus won the match. The thing is, this is the thing, right? First of all, Douglas Costa coming in, brilliant. His first touch to Mario Mandzukic, and Mandzukic is one of the only guys who is constantly caring for this team. He embodies the grinta, he embodies the fino alla fine that Juventus promote, but the defense of Juventus is so poor. Benatia was terrible, Rugani is still on the bench, Sturaro is still the fullback, as Lichtsteiner sits home, not even in the Champions League squad, and it's just extremely questionable the way Juventus have been playing, but like we say, they are winning. They're the only Italian team to have won, and we're criticizing them so much. And Allegri actually went off on Italian TV after the match because they did something similar that we're doing. They criticized him a little bit, and he said, August to January is one season, February to May is another. Right now, it is not about playing well. It's about winning. If you have to struggle when you win, that's important. February to May is when you need to start playing well and winning. And as much as we can criticize him, Allegri's results have proved so important. And I think what he's saying about the two seasons is exactly what we've seen from Juventus. But where does it get to that point? Are the results going to match the game? Are we just going to have to wait for February to say anything?
You know what I'm thinking, actually? There's only a amount of time for him to keep playing this way, and soon enough he's going to start catching up to him, just like in the Serie A. I think by now he gelled the team together a little bit better. But it's not looking like that now. I mean, he won in the Champions League. Can't complain about that. But in the league, they're not doing the best. And from there, I want to see some good performances. But not just in the Serie A, just in general. I feel like we're always talking about Juve, how they're playing poorly.
But even if we do talk about the Serie A, 5 points off, they had worse runs than this over the past few seasons. And they always went on to win the Scudetto. So there's this part of me that is like, man, I hate watching Juventus play just because it's extremely boring, and I'm okay with boring and winning, but I don't know if the winning is going to constantly catch up with that, like you said a little bit, but constantly we're proved wrong because Juventus are always on the winning end of things. 2 Champions League finals in 3 seasons, and I mean, the match against Sporting, not great, starting off with that own goal, but in the end, they did get the victory. Would you rather play bad and win? Of course, yes, for me, but on the other hand, you know, Napoli playing beautiful football against a completely different opposition in Manchester City, a game where the first 15 minutes were absolutely horrendous. Napoli that did not want to be
25 minutes.
A Napoli that, to me, Sadi said, I don't really want to win this match. I'm thinking a little bit about Inter, who's going to be up next week, without starting Jorginho or Allan in the midfield.
He made it more of a spectacle, playing extremely attacking football and not really caring about that defense. And we can see in the first half how they suffered 2 goals, but they tried getting one. They got one back. Oh my God! And Mertens missed that penalty.
Yeah, Mertens.
It could have easily been a tie.
The thing is, at the end of the day, second half Napoli came out with much more intensity than they did in the first half. They really looked eager to try to do this, and maybe this was Sadi's way, his tactic of going a little bit slower in the first half, and then in the second half, we'll pick things up, we'll try to get things together. Diawara on a second penalty, he scored, great job for him, and Napoli actually looked a lot more dangerous, and they were really pushing Manchester City to the ends. What I will say is, the thing that a little bit bothers me is that I know Napoli could play better than this. And I don't want to be the guy that gives the excuse of money, but to me, money is definitely a factor. What Manchester City has on the bench, and the depth that they could play in the Champions League, whatever the Coppa Italia is for Premier League, and the Premier League, I mean, the depth is definitely an issue. Napoli do not have the same kind of depth. The front 3 are the best 3 that they could get. Anyone on the bench is not going to put in what the front 3 can. And while money is an issue, I think that Napoli did prove pretty well. Only 2-1 away at Manchester City, and they could have had even more. A penalty was missed, other opportunities there, and I think that they did do a good display at the end of the day.
If they played a full squad, their extra 2 midfielders that could have went in, I think it would have been a different game. But Sarri, we got to understand, Sarri knows that Inter's coming this weekend, and he wants to rest those players, so I think he's playing the smarter role, and he's really looking for that Scudetto.
Can you blame him for focusing more on the Scudetto, where Napoli have an insane chance to do that, rather than focusing on both the Scudetto and the Champions League, which Napoli is not built to go far in both competitions, in my opinion. The quality of the first team, absolutely. The quality of everything together, in my opinion, no. Can you blame him for focusing on the Scudetto?
I don't blame him, but...
If you can even call it focusing on the Scudetto, that's my perspective, though.
But we really see his goals,
what he wants to do. Can you blame him? Do you think that's an okay strategy for an Italian team?
Normally I'd say no, but in this case, he can really do something special this season.
I mean, he only rested 2 players at the end of the day, and Zielinski was the only one who was really poor.
Those are key players, though. Especially breaking up all Man City's attacks.
It's not like he did a complete turnover where he was resting everyone. Okay, guys, let us know down below your thoughts. Did you interpret Sarri's team or Sarri's attitude of the team, especially in the first half, as to be focusing on Inter come next week? Let us know down below as we talk about the third Italian team in this one, and the team that I am most proud of this round. Extremely surprising. Michael and I once again owe you guys a huge apology, because from the start, when we saw Roma, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid in the first group stage, you roll back the clip of what we said, because we completely pushed Roma underneath the bus.
Oh my God, please good. Oh my God. Roma to Europa League. Jesus Christ.
3-3 against Chelsea, a match that they were down 2-0
at the Stamford Bridge.
Came back, were winning the game, and then late on, Chelsea, who in my opinion, 2-0 was flattering to them, because Roma were doing everything right, they just weren't scoring. Defense was in complete shambles. Bruno Perez and Fazio, Juan Jesus, disastrous. But what character from Di Francesco, who's never coached in the Champions League before, his first season, to put out a team that takes the game to Chelsea in Chelsea against Antonio Conte, with players who are he's still missing a lot of players, and get a 3-3 draw. No. How crazy is this?
I doubted Di Francesco a little bit, but there's still a lot of time. But he really showed his character, his mentality. It was just amazing. But when it was 2-0, I was hurt, though. I was like, oh my God, Conte's going to run away with this. And but then it went 2-1 Colorado with that goal. Dzeko with that goal, and then Dzeko again.
We're again another guy that we criticized. Dzeko, pure class. Yeah. Pure class. Those finishes, that second finish is unbelievable. Van Basten-esque, and coming in crucial at a time where you just said you put them out, I put them out. Almost every Roma
Di Francesco put them out.
Di Francesco didn't put them out, and that's the most important thing. Yeah. Di Francesco and his team did not keep them out, despite the shaky defense that they had. Alisson, I got to give him huge credit, staying key in goal. He's been such a solid keeper.
He's been there like man of the match this season so far. He hasn't conceded very much this whole season, and he's been a wall.
I think one key moment, actually, that I want to bring up. In the 87th minute, Di Francesco subbed on Stefan El Shaarawy. 3-3.
Usually you bring in a defensive midfield to secure that draw.
He wanted a damn win. Di Francesco, he did take out Perotti, but still, either way, El Shaarawy for Perotti is still an attacking move. And it's brilliant to see from Di Francesco so much passion on the sideline. First season in the Champions League, and he's in second place. Atletico Madrid had a hounder against Karabakh. I was going nuts. They tied 0-0. Huge difference between Roma right now and Atletico Madrid. Roma have a serious chance, probably the best chance out of all the Italian teams, to really make it into the next round in one of the most difficult groups. Group of death. I can't give even more credit to Roma. We criticized them for their 1-0 against Napoli. Maybe how Napoli had their eyes on the Serie A, Roma had theirs on the Champions League. With key players, again, your man Manolas out. I mean, I feel like I can't hype this up enough, how incredible this draw is.
I'm speechless. They've really been doing incredible. And now the next match they're gonna play Chelsea again, but this time at the Stadio Olimpico. That's a really solid draw, though.
It's gonna be really tough. Antonio Conte, of course, we're always supporting the Italians abroad, but this time you came up against our AS Roma, and you had to take the L. And this is really, I mean, getting any kind of result, even if it was a loss, it wouldn't have been that bad for Roma, because mathematically they need to beat Karabakh, and then they need a result against Atletico Madrid, and that would be really good for them. So even if they did lose to Chelsea, it wouldn't be crazy. And this is a way, this is so good for AS Roma. They have a serious chance to do something special in the Champions League with a young coach who's attack-minding, who's brilliant, with Dzeko, and with Nainggolan, who after the match said, "This is the Chelsea that wanted you," and he said, "There was no reason for me to leave. I love AS Roma." Winning here is unforgettable. It's unmatched, and I think that spirit is really embodying the AS Roma of this year.
What do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot.
At the Stadio Olimpico, playing Chelsea, Manolas back. Their full squad. Do you think they can steal?
Is Manolas gonna be back?
He should be out for like 3 weeks, but hopefully he might make it.
Guys, let us know your thoughts on all of the Champions League games in this round. How did you feel about Roma's draw against Chelsea? Were you expecting it? What did you make of Napoli's 2-1 loss to Manchester City, which is actually not as bad as we might think because of the presentation? And what did you think about Juve's win, who did win, but it really still a terrible attitude?
Also, Carrera won 5-1 for Spartak Moscow against Sevilla.
I was so happy in that match. Massimo Carrera, who's actually former assistant of Antonio Conte, and he is doing fantastic at Spartak Moscow right now. So, congrats to him. We got no more Ancelotti at Bayern. Did we miss any Italians?
I think we got everyone, right?
If we miss anyone, let us know. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi. Let's just try to make it clean, right, Mike?